assignment. In particular, we'll be looking at how to interpret specific questions. So for this assignment, a brief for the principles of leadership. In particular, we want to focus on this area here. Now, you can find this document on this section of the website in a more readily available system, such as use it to break down and interpret these key command words. So the first one we're going to look at is this explain. So what we might do is we might use some quotes to help us explain what the term leadership means. So we might try and find a couple of quotes on what is leadership from well-known academics. Remember to also put it in your own words as well at the end as a summary, because a photocopier can copy a book. It doesn't mean it's learnt anything. Next we're going to look at this section here. The difference between leadership and management. Now remember, we looked at two quotes from our what is a leader, and we looked at a quote of what is a manager, and we create our own sentence that went leadership is, whereas management is, and we had to create that in 15 words or fewer. So this might be useful to put into the assignment, but remember, if we just put in 15 words in, we might want to back it up to really show the difference between leaders and managers. Then we'll go on to 1.1, analyse. Now when you're writing these things, I don't just want you to write a dictionary definition of what does the word analyse. I want you to write something that will make it so that you understand it. Okay? So here, when we're talking about analyse the characteristics of an effective leader, this might be where we chose our 5 different sources, and if 3 out of the 5 say that that's a characteristic of a leader, that is a good analysis that that is a characteristic of a leader. Okay? So that is more realistic for me to move forward rather than remembering some dictionary definition about what analyse is. Conversely, when I go to analyse for the next one, analyse my own leadership skill, this analyse looks slightly different to the one above it, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this list and I'm going to benchmark myself using my skills gap analysis. So I looked at how did I have these skills, and then I wrote a little statement underneath justifying a time when I have or haven't shown these skills. And once again, that is the analysis for that word, but it's a bit different to analysis from the word above. Next we go on to explain. So here we explain, and remember we looked at a leader that we knew quite well. So that might be our boss, it might have been our coach from a sports team, it might have been a teacher, or it might be a famous person that is a leader. Okay, and it's note here it says explain, so once again we have to justify a time we have seen them use these leadership skills we've talked about. So we're going to use the same skills, but now we've talked about a leader on our skills gap analysis, and we're going to justify keywords, so to show a time when this has actually happened, when they have done that. Now we look at compare and contrast. Okay, key word, compare and contrast. So you've got to do the similarities and the differences, okay? Don't do the differences. What do they have in common? A motorbike, anyone can tell you the difference between a motorbike and a lemon, but it takes a real skill to find out what they have in common as well. Okay, so you've got to look at 2 different theories of motivation and look at what they have similar and what they have different. Then we go to evaluate. Same again, I don't want a dictionary definition of what is evaluate. I want you to write something down that you know what evaluate means. So for this one, when we're looking at evaluate one theory of motivation, you might look about what is good and bad about it, but also you might have to tell me, does it work? In your opinion, does it work? And remember, you then have to justify your opinion. So in this situation, it does work. In this situation, it doesn't work. Okay, and that's part of your evaluation. This is good about it because. This is bad about it because. Okay, the because and is the key thing in this. This really helps the evaluate. Again, we've got the word analyse. So we've analysed, we have to look at the word, the word again. Basically, analyse the relationship between a team leader and a member. So earlier we looked at the difference between a leader and a manager. Is it similar here? When we analyse it, are we going to notice some of the similarities and some of the differences? And, is there an interesting juxtaposition there that a leader might also be a team member? Because remember earlier, we're going to say that there is a difference between a leader and a manager, so could the leader come from the team and have very little power? What is power as well? Does that create the relationship between it? Do we need to then go into what power is as well? And then finally, explain. Same again. Explain the impact of working patterns on team leaders and members. Same again, we might use a time that we have actually seen this. So we might define a working pattern and then just highlight some of the issues that that's created between team leaders and members. So that might be another way that we explain within that. Okay, so this, I want you to create your own little word map like this, using the document that's similar to this above, where you can show me these keywords and you can explain in your own terms and in realistic terms what does that mean. Thanks very much.